Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Introducing your hosts, Kids at Hart.
Pre-recording this week, and I've already messed up so much, even though I did purposefully play Brock at the beginning of it.
Unexpected Lesnar is my new favorite thing about this show. I swear to God.
Unexpected Lesnar is not going away if I have anything to do with it. Neither is. But welcome everybody. A busy Friday afternoon for me means a pre-recorded episode of Wrestle Reel, but frankly, it's not too close off from when we're actually recording it because it's Thursday night. We're here. NXT has happened, so we were able to and AEW. So we were able to fit a couple of segments about that into the show, which is very nice. But yeah, we're here right now. Chris Anthony Lopez. Chris
El Idolo!
I don't want to mispronounce that.
Chris El Idolo, Anthony Lopez, and the Honky Tonk Nick.
How are you doing today? I don't even know where that came from because I don't even think that Honky Tonk Man is on my retro shirt, but I just was like,
I do love the Macho Man on your shirt, brother. I'm like, that's where the party's at.
This is like a Target exclusive shirt I got for Christmas, so I just figured I'd throw that on for this episode.
I saw this kick-ass shirt at Walmart. I don't know why I didn't buy it. I gotta go get it now. It was I forget which WrestleMania it is, but it was Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels.
Oh well, you said you need to go get it now, so I'm just kidding. Chris Anthony Lopez has left the chat already.
Yeah, I left the chat of life and I gotta go get the shirt. But what's up, everybody? Wrestle Reel episode 22 ski. Episode 22. I here rocking with some more wrestling chatter on Watch Real Entertainment's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Nick, brother, did you watch any wrestling this week?
A little bit. I kind of caught some of the Karrion Kross and Finn Balor stuff that they had going on towards the end of the show. They're still trying to throw Pete Dunne into the mix there. Walter appearing on NXT TV. Love me some Walter appearing on NXT TV.
Oh yeah.
And you know, like, and NXT UK is obviously pre-recorded because Walter was also on NXT UK today. And so was so they're also trying to. The thing is like clearly NXT UK is watched by people in Europe more than it is here because guess what?
Right.
They've got people challenging for Jordan Devlin's title. They got people challenging for Walter, and there's Walter appearing on NXT, and Jordan Devlin obviously in that title unification match that we're inevitably going to get, which is going to probably be the
Stand
best match.
And Deliver.
That's going to be the best match. Chris checked it before because neither of us. I didn't know what it was.
Stand and Deliver. It's a 2-night ski NXT ski.
We're going to be standing and delivering with NXT eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, listen. It's so easy to get trapped into the Wednesday Night Wars because that's pretty much. I mean, SmackDown Live is great. We're getting great stuff out of that. But like Walter appearing and attacking Ciampa was incredible. Devlin versus Mr.
Escobar.
Santos Escobar. I'm thinking about other people at this point. It's late. I've been doing a lot. Santos Escobar is like. I am calling it right now. If that's not the best match of all of WrestleMania weekend, I'm going to be surprised. I'm so excited for that match.
Whoa! Bold statement. We're doing high spots now?
That's a bold statement, but I mean, I'm one of those people who gets immense entertainment out of cruiserweight matches. I love me some cruiserweight matches. So, and I'm a huge Jordan Devlin fan. As you know, on this show, I mentioned at least once a week as the rightful cruiserweight champion. But listen, I'm looking forward to that match. I wonder how things are going to go down. You know, I think that do you think that the show? Here's a high spot early on. Do you think that? Do you think that the NXT takeover is going to be better than WrestleMania?
Woo! Okay, so something I don't think we talked about this on the show last week. NXT Takeover will be 2 nights. The first night will be on USA. The second night will be on the Peacock WWE Network. So, and by the way, Nick, I don't think I told you this. My WWE Network goes away in 4 days,
I'm sure it does for me as well.
and I gotta get the cock now. I gotta get the Peacock. So
Chris has to get the cock.
I does.
I need to get the cock as well.
Because I mean, I need my wrestling, brother. But to answer your question, since Takeover's 2 nights and since WrestleMania's 2 nights, anything's possible. I love 2-night WrestleMania. I really, really do. And I'm bummed they're not doing it over the next couple years. But I'll take what I can get. And at Raymond James, I think we're gonna have a great WrestleMania card. As things are filling out right now, things are looking good. But
so far, yes, honestly. And there's some weird matches that got brought up that I guess we don't have a segment for. How about the New Day versus Amos and AJ Styles being a match? Is kind of just out of nowhere.
That's a thing, I guess. But
where did it come from?
I think Takeover has had a bad show. There's not been a bad takeover. There's some takeovers, there's some good takeovers, and there's some great takeovers. But honestly, as the card stands right now, as of this taping, brother, we got freaking Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. That match has got a rule. Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin. That match has got a rule. Supposedly, we're supposed to get Walter and Tommaso Ciampa. If that match is on the card, which presumably it will be, Nick, I challenge your cruiserweight. I see your cruiserweight, and I raise you, Walter, Tommaso Ciampa. They will kill each other.
They will. Yes.
Like it will be murder.
We are getting Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai. Well. Yeah.
Yes. There's gonna be some good stuff on this card, and I do think Takeover will be better than WrestleMania. I feel like it always is, but WrestleMania is gonna be really good too. I'm really looking forward to Lashley versus McIntyre. That got confirmed, Ski. So I'm really looking forward to it.
But at the same time, okay. Before we get into the segments, I guess I'll say I didn't really love the way that was just kind of announced.
Yeah, it was just a thing, but at the same time, like McIntyre, it's no secret that that's like Vince's golden boy, and I mean obviously he's been doing really good. He was a great champion
boy as well. He's our golden.
He's our golden. He's Wrestle Real's golden boy. We love.
Do you think Brock will be added to this match?
No. My screen went black. I thought my computer died. I'm like, it's plugged in. But no, I don't think he will be. I think Brock's gonna wait till fans get back. Granted, fans will be there in a limited capacity. Which, did you see that stuff? Oh, I'll mention it later. But I don't think they're gonna do Brock yet. I think Brock should be safer when fans come back entirely. Like Lashley will be champ still. And MVP is like, oh yeah, I'm like, this is my champ, and then Lesnar's gonna come out to be great.
I'm sorry. I can only play a certain amount. Is the
delay? Like, yeah. I love the delay.
I'm gonna trick you with it. I'm gonna trick you with it even more one day. It's just gonna happen so randomly out of nowhere. You're gonna think that your computer died or something like that again.
It's gonna be a black screen, and you're gonna start playing Mr. Ass. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna start playing. I'm gonna start playing Biscuits and Gravy. I can call you.
Make me a man. You're gonna start trolling me, bro.
One of my favorite entrances of all time is Biscuits and Gravy.
But there's gonna be some good wrestling across those 4 days. How Wrestle Real tackles those 4 days, we'll see. Yes. That's a lot of wrestling over the course of a weekend, and
sure as hell is.
Yeah, and Nick and I only planned for a 2-night WrestleMania ski. At least we only talked about WrestleMania ski. Takeover, we might have to do a Wrestle Real dedicated to Takeover, but we'll see. I hate to have a production meeting here, which I mean, what's new? But we do have a show to do, and we've already spent 10 minutes talking about some cards that aren't even filled out yet. But usually a lot of these wrestlers, when they're put in these positions because they either are just great workers or they're great on the mic or something. And recently we've been seeing a lot of people.
Sorry. I literally tapped the button. I'm just so excited. Sorry.
We'll do it live. Screw it. Recently, people have been going on these after shows like Raw Talk or Talking Smack, and they're getting themselves over. We saw Daniel Bryan and The Miz infamously do it or famously do it a few years ago, but we feel like it's coming back now. We saw Cesaro do it a couple weeks ago. Peyton Royce had
Peyton
a
Royce
great
is the
one.
reason why I wanted to talk about it, because it's like,
And by all means, let's do it. Like this,
did she
these
put herself in the name or the category for a women's championship spot by that,
woo, woo,
or to be pushed better?
ooh, I can rock with that. I'm rocking with you on that because when Peyton Royce and Billy Kay got split, the Iconics, like when they got split, everyone thought Peyton Royce was going to be the one that, like the Shawn Michaels to Billy Kay's Jannetty. Little did we know, Billy Kay's gotten way more screen time, has gotten way more to do on SmackDown than Peyton Royce has on Raw. Which, to the shock of everybody, we're all like, what? Really? It's Peyton Royce. She's great on the mic, obviously. She's a good wrestler. So why isn't she in the title picture? Instead, she's tag teaming with Dana Brooke or whatever the hell. So
She is tag teaming with Mandy Rose is tag teaming with Dana Brooke.
oh yeah.
We are thinking about Lacey Evans here.
Ah, yes, even worse. So with Peyton Royce going on Raw Talk and having this impassioned promo about how she wants Asuka. Okay. Like I loved this promo.
Oh, she was great.
I forget how I saw it. I think someone sent it to me or they showed it to me. You might have sent it to me. And I'm like, this is insane. And the idea that these shows, these after shows, just give a platform to these wrestlers. I wonder how worked these promos are. Like Mustafa Ali had some great ones on here where he'd toe the line between work and shoot. Obviously, it's a worked shoot, but
he's so good though at what he does. It's incredible. I'm surprised that I think that eventually he's going to be the one to take the championship off of Riddle.
Ooh.
I know I've been coming in with the hot takes today, haven't I?
Yeah, you're just predicting the whole card. We're not even near WrestleMania yet. We got Fastlane this Sunday, which we're not talking about.
No, which is weird. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
No.
I do think that he'll end up taking the title off of Riddle. I honestly do. Just because it's Ali. Ali has been doing some fantastic stuff. But again, it's been on Talking or Raw Talk, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where we've been getting this impassioned stuff from Ali is on Raw Talk. And Talking Smack set a standard when it originally was debuting that hasn't been matched. But the Raw Talk has been getting really good. Paul Heyman has been using Talking Smack as a vehicle to put over talent. And WWE is just it's so interesting to me how things are going in that regard.
No, totally. Because I mean, we saw the Peyton Royce stuff. My favorite of the bunch has been Cesaro. Yes. And Cesaro, now he's feuding with Seth Rollins, and we'll see where that goes, probably towards WrestleMania. But like Cesaro gave that like how much he loves wrestling promo. And like what you say with Paul Heyman's a big part of this. I wonder how involved he is with these promos, at least on the SmackDown side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see this man get berated. He'll get verbally abused by these wrestlers, right? Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has some great stuff just during the Roman Kevin Owens stuff, which was in hindsight pretty damn good.
But his stuff with Big E, on the other hand,
his stuff with Big E, he puts over Big E.
Yeah, he does. He does.
And speaking, I mean, this isn't a Talking Smack promo, but the promo Big E had on SmackDown was awesome, and I like the stuff he's doing with Apollo Crews. I really dig that now. Mm-hmm. But no, this the platform, because I wonder how much of this has worked, and we will never know. We will never know. Obviously, they got to clear what they're going to say. No one goes on there with a hot mic. At least I'd be surprised if they did. No one's out here CM punking it and just doing a promo. And if they are, like Cesaro, that was legit. That was just all off the cuff. Then all right, cool. It's Peyton Royce, same thing. I bet. And I know people online are like, oh, like he fumbled over his words. So would you. So do we on this show.
Every day. Like I literally pressed the one button before you even finished talking about it. And that's staying in the show. So like think about it. Think about it.
Like we may be at a SmackDown taping, bro. But like it's live. It's always live.
Doing it live.
We're doing it live. But no, I don't like when people are like, oh, like he stumbled over his words. Like, who cares? That's how impassioned somebody is. Like, I got into an argument this past weekend with somebody about something completely unrelated to wrestling. And of course, I was fumbling over my words because I had so much on the brain, so much I wanted to say. And in such a short amount of time, you got to just get it out. And peeps like Cesaro, peeps like Peyton Royce, peeps like Kevin Owens. Granted, Kevin Owens has been killing it in promos for, I don't know, his whole life.
Yeah.
So
No doubt about that.
Folks like Cesaro and Peyton Royce who don't get too much mic time, especially Cesaro, especially him. He comes onto a Raw or Talking Smack, and he's like, "Oh, yo, like I love wrestling. Wrestling's my life. I've been doing this for X amount of time." And Raw, like, yeah, yeah.
We've noticed. We've noticed.
Oh, we know, brother. We know, Bubba. Because I mean, who isn't the fan of Cesaro at this point? And if the fans were here, I hate that I have to use this because I think WWE would not be in the position where it's at right now if the fans were present, if the pandy wasn't a thing. But that's how we're always going to look at it. If fans were around and Cesaro was really bringing the heat this time around, like same promos, same matches, same stuff. My God. Yeah. Oh my God.
The Cesaro section would be the entire arena.
Right. And I hope that when fans do get back, I mean, we're going to see some at WrestleMania. I think they said 35% of Raymond James, something like that.
Which
it's
is
like 20.
A lot.
Still a decent amount. It's like 20,000 people, 25,000 people.
That's going to be an impactful thing, though. I mean, think about it. That's about how much they have on Raw and SmackDown tapings. The numbers lie. Just because of the way that they need to fill stadium or arenas in order to be able to like show off the right amount of fans to make it look full.
And I mean, we're gonna know that it's socially distanced. Like, it's not like WrestleMania sells out every year. It's not like they need to push tickets for WrestleMania because it'll sell out in minutes, and we'll figure that out when we go next year.
It's that's right, buddy. That's right. Now,
so, go ahead.
Well, it's just like I love the opportunity that these shows give because the marketability of a wrestler almost comes from social media now, and that's kind of where these Talking Smack and Raw Talk videos end up blowing up. That's how the Peyton Royce blew up. When The Miz went off on Daniel Bryan, that was really where it came from, was the YouTube views and such. So I'm incredibly hopeful to see where these types of things go, because when Talking Smack was canceled the first time, I was pissed.
It was a sad day.
It didn't make any sense. It was doing so well. And you know what? You want to know why it was? If Fox didn't buy the rights to SmackDown, then we wouldn't be in this situation right now, because WWE wanted Raw to be better than SmackDown.
Totally.
Which was why they got rid of it in the first place. But now WWE wants SmackDown to be just as good because it's on Fox, and Fox is doing so much with them. It's all about that cheddar. They're going to continue to book everything really nicely. They're going to continue to give everything the love that Raw will get, because SmackDown, I mean, Roman Reigns is on SmackDown. That's literally enough to tell you right there that, like,
and Edge,
but I'm just saying Roman Reigns is on SmackDown. That's literally enough to push
the literal top dog is on what was considered the B show for decades.
Right.
And now, in the year of our Lord 2021, Roman Reigns, who's been pushed to the moon, is on the B show. And Edge, who came back, and I watched these videos. Like, I like watching old prediction videos and see what people got right and wrong. And I saw this guy on TikTok, of all places, and he was adamant on Edge being on Raw and facing Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Adamant on it. And it's like, yo, like, that was a discussion we had on this show. Like, what? And I mean, I prefer to send my man to NXT if I had the choice, but I'm cool with, like, I'm starting to have a feel for this Roman Edge thing, depending on how this Daniel Bryan situation happens at Fastlane. But to your point, social media is a big thing now. Like, it's how we're getting all these promos. And just to go back to that Miz promo from all them years ago, and I know we talk about the Miz a lot on this show, but that moment changed everything. It changed how wrestlers approach these other talk shows that aren't the main show itself. And like, Talking Smack was the bomb. It was the bomb. Like, it was so good every single week because it was fun. And maybe because it was Renee Young at the time, and Daniel Bryan, and we got these wrestlers coming on here essentially just like shooting on everything as much as they could. And The Miz goes on there and cuts this impassioned, incredible promo to the point where it pisses off Daniel Bryan. He walks off set. Renee Young's like, and it's one of the most iconic moments of the post 2016 draft. Like in the last 5 years, like that moment will go down in wrestling history. I say this all the time, but if you tell the oral history of the modern era, whatever we're going to call this, you have to mention that moment.
Oh, for sure.
You have to.
Absolutely do.
Like if you're telling someone about wrestling from 2016 to now, you mention that off the top. Like this moment changed everything. Not only was it like a second breath of fresh air to people and how they viewed The Miz, and The Miz has already been I don't know if I say top guy, a notable name for a decade before that. And now here he is again.
Top heel.
Yeah, and then he was pushed to the stratosphere, and fans were noticing how great The Miz was again, especially then, because he got this whole breath of fresh air, and now he was legitimately stealing the show every week.
Absolutely.
All because of that Talking Smack promo.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to let him do that on Raw or SmackDown. Granted, they let him do that on Raw and SmackDown after that.
Well, they knew what they got.
Exactly. So now we're seeing these folks like Peyton Royce, and hopefully they do insert her into the Raw title picture. Maybe not for WrestleMania, and I as much as I would love for that to be triple threat, it's going to be Asuka, Charlotte. It's all but confirmed at this point.
Where's Rhea? Where's Rhea Ripley?
Make it a fatal four-way. Royce and Rhea. Come on, it's gonna be great.
I'm sorry. I want it to be. I want my brain to not go, one of these things is not like the other in that situation. But like, because I love Peyton Royce, or because I love Charlotte Flair, but even though she does not deserve to be there. Listen, Charlotte's the top dog on Raw. You can't not. You can't.
Charlotte's the top lady dog on any brand. But great segue, Nick. Speaking of Charlotte, her real life significant other is having a hard time with WWE, and he kind of wants out, and he kind of told us on social media.
Biscuits and gravy made me a man.
I made that as we were talking.
We're totally gonna get copyright strike.
It wasn't long enough. No. It's you can't play up to 30 seconds of a song. It's
okay.
We're good. And if we get striked for biscuits and freaking gravy on a channel that's not making any money quite yet.
As long as Doc Gallows doesn't come down on us, I think we'll be okay.
As long as Slam Master Jay and Doc Bell.
Right, that too. But no, like, Andrade.
Calm down.
Yeah, cool it, Vince. Cool it. But Andrade, there have been these rumors for a couple of days now about him asking for his release and with WWE, and it was getting some traction on all these different outlets for wrestling news. And then our man straight up said on Twitter, the rumors are true, but he's just hoping to live out his dreams and just to do what he wants to do. And whether it's with WWE or not, he wants to be a wrestler. He wants to wrestle all the time. Yeah. And if you're watching Raw right now, our man's not doing anything. And there's this rumor or this report that he showed up to Raw a couple weeks ago and he was just bummed. Because what was he doing? Nothing. And Nick, I beg the question to you. A, what was your reaction to seeing Andrade confirm the rumors on Twitter of all places? And B, how do you think it's going to end, dude?
Two things go in my head. One, is it a work?
Ooh.
But I don't think that it is. It's tough for me to think that it's not at the same time because he's dating Charlotte Flair. I just feel like I always I'm not trying to. No, this is going to make me seem like, oh, dating Charlotte Flair should skyrocket you to the top. That's not what I'm thinking at all. That's a horrible thing to think. But at the same time, it's like, I just feel like some people have notoriety backstage.
Yes.
and have a push. It's just I don't understand how, and even just a guy like Andrade, an incredibly talented wrestler. It's like Vince has no clue what to do with him. Well, Vince, you're not the head writer. You are the boss. I understand that, and you probably make all the decisions backstage. At the same time, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It doesn't make any sense to me as to why. WWE had this thing where they're like, and this is a problem with WWE overall. You don't go saying that you're looking for the next big Latin American talent and then use none of the three fucking amazing Latin American talents that you have. And I'm talking Angel, I'm talking Andrade, and I'm talking Umberto. Though, by the way, cuz look at the way he's looking right now. I don't know if you've seen those
I didn't believe it, dude.
dude's looking swole as hell. He's probably that's all it is. Is Umberto knows the writing on the wall is that he needs to be a big sweaty man, just like Vince likes. It's just like it's disappointing to think that WWE has so much stock in this guy, and for them to not know what to do with him. The only thing that he doesn't have is the mic skills, and that's not his fault.
Right.
I mean, it's you could tell he makes an effort to figure everything out, but it's like you remove Zelina from the equation. Zelina was the glue that was holding that tandem together
Mhm.
of Angel, of Umberto, even Umberto because he was feuding with them.
Yeah.
It's like, and then out of nowhere, Dominic Mysterio shows up and he teams with him, and then they lose a couple of matches, and you never see Umberto ever again. It's just to me, they're wasting. This isn't even an Andrade problem because at the same time, I'm thinking WWE, you're trying to cut costs and stuff like that. Do you think it's going to piss off Charlotte if you fire her boyfriend or let him go? Is that what you're thinking? I'm not trying to like put Charlotte into like everything with this. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to understand what is exactly is the issue here, where they refused his. They told him no when it came down to it. I heard. So why? I mean, if you're not going to use the guy, you're trying to save money with a pandemic, even though you just sold your network for $1 billion. What is the issue here? Why can't you even just put him on freaking WWE Superstars or main event or whatever at this point? You're not using the man at all. You probably have used Tucker this year more than you have used Andrade, and that's an issue.
That's a fact.
Because Tucker sucks without Otis. I'm just gonna straight up say that because he doesn't. Because they don't have a character for him. Tucker's another example of like, why did you split up a tag team when you're gonna ruin half of it? I understand that every single thing has a Jannetty, but even Jannetty was at least doing something afterwards for a little while.
Right.
That's my soapbox. Do something with Andrade.
Look, as messed up as this might sound, this might come down to him not speaking the best English. That's what it is. If you look, like you mentioned, and we've talked about Andrade multiple times on this show.
Mhm.
And I feel like we're going to keep talking about him until something happens with Andrade. And what we keep referring to is like they're looking for that next star, that next Eddie.
Right.
Because they've been trying to recapture that Eddie magic for 15 years. And they haven't found it. Mysterio was already a thing. Ray was already a thing. And they tried they tried making Ray Eddie, but no. Like Ray's Ray. And Eddie was this whole different personality, this whole different character. And ever since they tried to recapture that magic, they tried doing it with Del Rio. If Del Rio wasn't a piece of garbage,
they would have had something.
Maybe they could, and they tried. They tried. But Del Rio couldn't get over. At least as a face. They booed the hell out of him. But Andrade,
no doubt about that.
When he came over from New Japan, when he was La Sombra, there was a lot of hype behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Andrade Cien Almas popped up in NXT with his hat and his suspenders. Not cool. Didn't like it.
Not a good look. No.
Yeah, not a good look. But I mentioned this on the show a couple weeks ago. That damn match take over Philly. Him and Gargano.
Yeah.
That changed the whole game. I think it changed how everybody viewed Andrade. Not La Sombra that came from New Japan.
Mhm.
How they looked at Andrade Cien Almas.
Which I wish he was still with Sombra, honestly.
I wish he was Andrade Cien Almas still, but
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I'll take Andrade. He gets the main roster. They keep with Zelina, which you nailed it on the head. The second Zelina got released, I think all his hopes and dreams of going back on TV sunk because Zelina was such a great mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And it what a waste. And what a reason to let her go. I'm not going to rehash that conversation, but what a messed up way to let somebody go. And Zelina leaving also screwed up Aleister Black. But again, it's a different conversation for a different day.
That's the thing, though, is that like Zelina leaving didn't even ruin Aleister Black. It's the same exact problem with Andrade, where they didn't have anything. It doesn't. Fuck. Sorry, I've dropped 2 F-bombs already, and I played biscuits and gravy too long.
Everybody gets one.
So I took yours. So
Yes.
it's just like because this stuff makes me mad. You have Andrade. You know what you easily could do, right? It's the most simple thing in the world. These wrestlers that you don't know what to do with, send them back to NXT. Do it even swap even. Like, hey, we don't like what we have with Andrade, but we think that we can use so and so. Let's just say Timothy Thatcher because he's the first person that crossed my mind for some reason.
Okay.
It's like, hey, we'll take Timothy and put him on SmackDown or Raw or whatever and start using him. I'm just using Timothy Thatcher as an example.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably somebody from the women's division that you can pull up first. Oh, hey, let's think about it like this. Let's take Andrade and let's pull up Rhea Ripley. I've heard that she's supposed to make her main roster debut at some point.
Yeah.
Oh wait, she was already supposed to. Anyways, we're already pulling an NXT superstar, understanding that we're on a signing spree right now. Let's just take Andrade and Aleister Black and Tucker and all these people that seriously, I'm serious about Tucker because we could develop a character for him down there. And then once we know what we need to do with him, let's debut Adam Cole for the first time. You know what I mean? It's just like I almost believe that every single time that like when Damian Priest made his debut, somebody from the main roster should have went back down. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that that's the way to do things because that doesn't make any sense and that's not sustainable. But my point is, it's like it already worked with Finn Balor. Finn Balor had a career renaissance in NXT because again, you had a guy who WWE did not know what to do with him, and Triple H is going, well, give me Finn Balor, and you can have Tucker. And it's just like they don't know what to do with these people on the main roster. It's a perfect example. If you're never gonna call Adam Cole up because he's such a beneficiary to NXT, and this is your third brand, then how about you send these guys back down and treat them like it's a third brand still? It just go on.
There's too many people. That's what it boils down to. There's way too many folks, and folks get lost in the shuffle. Yes. And Andrade and Aleister Black and all these other folks that we've mentioned that aren't on TV right now. That's just part of the deal. There's only so much minutes in an hour within those 3 hours and 2 hours and 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And I know we talked about doing a third show. I think if they are going to do a third show, it'd be one hell of a way to do more stuff on Peacock. But they're not paying us for ideas. No. But in regards to Andrade, I would like to keep him on their main roster. Put him on SmackDown. I know SmackDown sounds like the easiest option because it is.
It is.
And like just apparently, from what I've been seeing, our man's been working on his English. That was the biggest thing, is that he couldn't speak English. At least not well for a while. Apparently, he's been working his ass off to do so. And I mean, the easiest way to put him into a program is put him into a program with Charlotte.
Right.
What is the big deal? Like, okay, like, yo, Charlotte don't need a belt, but I'd love for her. How about this? How about you can have Charlotte be his mouthpiece? And she can hold her own in the ring, obviously, because she's Charlotte Flair, but she's also a great worker on the mic.
Mhm.
I don't understand this disdain, this neglect for Andrade. Like, if you're looking for the next big Mexican superstar, he's right there.
Right.
He's right there. Like, he's going to Raw every week, finding nothing to do, and I hope to God, I hope to Dios, I Dios mío, that he really does something. Whether it won't be till after WrestleMania. That's just the sad truth. But after WrestleMania, my God,
My favorite main roster call-up is Andrade. Oh wait, he was already there.
He's always been here, and when he didn't get drafted, like, it was such a bad sign, and obviously it came to fruition that it was all gonna be bad things. Like, Andrade was your next Latino superstar. And even Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, like, them too. Those three guys could have been the shit together.
Right.
And look what you're doing with them now. Jack shit.
I hate it.
Like it's, I mean, I can't complain too much because we just got another Black World Champion, and I'm still pretty high on that prospect. And the New Day just won the tag belts again. Whether you like it or not, sucks to suck. 11-time chance, baby.
I know it does suck to suck.
But and it's just like there's a lot of stuff I like going on in WWE right now, and I know a bunch of fans are crying about the New Day stuff. Like again, like I said, sorry. Like, damn, sucks. But it just blows my mind that someone like Andrade is just chilling there, doing nothing, and he's publicly saying, "Oh yeah, the rumors are true." But to answer your question from the beginning of the segment, is this a work? I will always go back to the Dean Ambrose thing where they announced that he was leaving prior to WrestleMania. Made no sense. They've never done that before. Never. When someone's contract was up, they're like, "Oh, Dean Ambrose's contract is expiring in April." Huh? What, you're gonna tell us that?
Yeah.
Now with Andrade, it's like, oh, all the rumors are true. And what if they try to make that storyline? That'd be weird.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't make any sense.
Like on Raw, they'd be like, oh, like Andrade talking about the rumors. What rumors? Is he gonna leave WWE? It's like, damn, as far as we're concerned, he ain't there.
Right.
And they know if he leaves, he's gonna go to AEW, he's gonna go to New Japan, be La Sombra again, and he's gonna kick ass. That's why they won't let him leave. That's why they won't let him go, because they know he's gonna succeed elsewhere.
Send him to NXT. Send him to NXT. That said,
I can keep going and going and going. But just to end this, they're scared to let him go because they know he'll succeed, but they have nothing to do for him. The day after WrestleMania, on that Monday, I expect his ass to show up.
He better. That said, he's gonna win the Andre the Johnson Battle Royal, Andre the 3000 Memorial Battle Royal. So that said, talking about a wrestler that WWE doesn't know how to use, let's talk about an AEW superstar that they didn't know how to use, and now they do.
So Britt Baker has been in the AEW women's division since the jump. And for the longest time, she was floating around the mid-card, not really knowing what to do. They had her in these gimmick matches, whether it's like them doing the whole stuff with the dentist. She's Dr. Britt Baker, MD, or DMD. Like, you know, like it's like she's out here doing her thing, and they're putting her in these weird feuds. Granted, AEW doesn't know how to use their women's division. Just be honest.
They might now. They might have found they might have found their man. They might have found
Wednesday.
I swear to God. In AEW.
Like this past Wednesday changed the whole game. And it's not, look at that picture! Ah! Like, oh my God. So for those who don't know, for those who need context, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa had themselves an unsanctioned lights out match to main event AEW this past Wednesday. Not only it was the first unsanctioned lights out match in Dynamite history, it was also the first time two women had main evented Dynamite. And they had them in this match. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, my God. Like, granted, Thunder Rosa was also bleeding. Like, she has the half face paint gimmick, and the other half was bleeding. But that Britt Baker stuff was gnarly. And she lost the match. Britt Baker lost that match. But she came out the real winner of that damn match. She might have taken the pin, but people kept talking about Britt Baker afterwards.
Yeah.
I was shooketh, brother. Shooketh. Seeing those photos, seeing that match. That match is gnarly. It's really, really good. People should go watch it. One of the better things the women have done in AEW, I don't know, ever. Like it's really, really cool. It's really dope. Like that is wrestling. We had Matt Thomas, co-founder of the channel, in on this before we started recording. He saw that picture and he was like, ugh. And I'm like, yes, that's what wrestling is. Like, that is what I'm talking about. That's what you do with Britt Baker. And we've been saying on this show forever, you more so than I, that Britt Baker is a star and they need to do something with her. And they just have to make her face look like death. And here she is.
Did AEW find their man?
Oh, like they're Becky Lynch?
They're Becky Lynch.
Yes. Yeah. I could rock with that analogy.
And this isn't the first time that she's gotten busted open. She broke her nose a while ago as well.
And that was also gnarly, but not like this.
Yeah.
This, though.
They got a standing ovation backstage, by the way. I just would like to acknowledge that their hard work paid off because the two of them got a standing O from the entire locker room.
Both of them came out looking like stars, man. Mm-hmm. And I love Thunder Rosa. And anybody that hears me talking about wrestling, I love Thunder Rosa. I think she's great. Britt Baker, I've always liked Britt Baker. Like, I liked her. I didn't love her. I liked her. And then I watched this damn match, brother. Oh my God. You got me, Britt Baker. You got me. Like, I know I already got braces in my teeth, but at this point, like, she's my dentist. Like, yeah. I really, like, what a star-making performance.
Tony Khan called it one of the best effing matches he has ever seen.
High praise from a wrestling fan like Tony Khan.
From the guy who owns the damn company that they were.
Right. High praise. That's some high praise coming from the man himself. And I mean, what's next? What do you do next? Because you can't top that anytime soon. You're not going to go on Dynamite next week. Unsanctioned Lights Out match 2. No. You got to follow up with this with Baker and with Thunder Rosa. Right. And you asked me before the show started if Baker is the person to dethrone Hikaru Shida. At this point, I think you gotta. You gotta pull the trigger on it. You gotta. How has Britt Baker not had the belt yet? That's a better question.
Yeah.
Because who's been the women's champs? Riho, Nyla Rose, and Hikaru Shida? Is that it?
Probably. And I know Nyla Rose is facing against her again, right?
And their women's division has, like, they have great wrestlers. Like, obviously.
They have Britt Baker. Britt Baker's the greatest thing in wrestling.
Like, clearly. They have great wrestlers over there in the women's division at AEW. And how are you going to tell me that SmackDown and NXT are just leaps and bounds better than them up until this past Wednesday? That's where everything changed. I'm not saying they're better than SmackDown or NXT because they're not yet, but they could be going forward. This could change the game because two of the things that AEW lacks on their weekly television or on the pay-per-views: great tag division, great women's division. They're killing it in the men's singles division. They're killing it. They're great, fantastic, top tier, probably the best main event scene in wrestling right now. But the tag division lacks, admittedly. Sorry, Young Bucks, they lack. And their women's division is infamous for lacking.
Yes.
For their few years of being around. This match, I swear to God, if Kenny Omega didn't kiss their feet when they walked through the curtain, if he didn't get down on his hands and knees and kiss their feet, because they're about to change the whole game for AEW Women's Wrestling. The two of them, Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, more so the dentist.
Unfreaking believable. Unfreaking just what a show. What an image.
Look at that.
What an image. And what promise for AEW Women's Wrestling. And what a time to get to this point in the show at 45 minutes. Isn't that weird?
Right.
That said,
Shortsky.
I believe that I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, people. I believe that we have a high spot. At least I could do one. I don't know if you ended up.
I got one too.
He's got one too. He's got one too. Mine's small, and mine's my regularly weekly one.
High spots of the week, baby.
Where's Taya Valkyrie? That's it. Okay, go.
Oh, Jesus. Great question. Stand and deliver. Keep your eye out.
All right.
High spots of the week, for those who don't know, it's when Nick and I get on our soapboxes, or we just have to get something off our chest, like, where's Taya Valkyrie? Seriously, no, where is Taya Valkyrie? Like, we're wondering here at Wrestle Real. But we get on our soapbox, we complain, we moan, we bitch, or we praise something in some cases. Like today, I have something good to talk about. I'm not going to complain, because I usually complain in these things. I usually get on my soapbox and start crying and whining about how Andrade is being misused, about how there's no black representation in the main event. I'm looking at you, Bianca Sasha, main event night 1 WrestleMania. I'm calling it now. I called it in December.
Even though that's what we did this entire episode, though, except for the Britt Baker stuff, was bitch and complain the entire time.
Right.
And play biscuits and gravy, so.
That too. But today I have something good. And this isn't really like something that's going on in the wrestling scene, but it involves wrestling. And I think something that's really cool and that can lead to more things going forward. So this whole Peacock deal involves a lot of different networks. Peacock is part of Universal. Universal owns USA Network. And USA Network announced this TV remake of Walking Tall, the Rock film that came out in 2003. It's Rock and Johnny Knoxville. And for those who have seen that movie, it rules, right? It's so dope. Walking Tall is so good. One of The Rock's more underrated movies from when he was still like titled The Rock and on posters and stuff. But they're remaking that movie for TV with Charlotte Flair.
I did not know this.
Yeah, I saw this. This was from Deadline, I believe. It's weird because I put it in the Watt Boys group chat. I'm surprised you didn't see it.
I miss everything in that group chat.
I don't blame you.
I leave that group chat for like 15 minutes and there's 400 messages inside of it.
Because we're either talking about Snyder Cut, or Walking Tall in this case.
Yes.
So Walking Tall, I love Walking Tall. It's probably, I think it's the first movie I ever saw with The Rock in it. And I love this movie. It's so much fun. And hopefully one day we'll talk about this movie on Wrestle Real. I think it's about that time we can do another movie on the show. Maybe not Walking Tall, but I love that they're gonna start implementing more wrestlers into other mediums, not just with obviously the wrestling stuff on the weekly TV. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss were on the Punky Brewster reboot / remake thing on Peacock as well. So Charlotte Flair, no stranger to showing up on Peacock, but this will be on USA Network. I just want to see more wrestlers in stuff that's not wrestling.
Yeah,
there's a lot of great talent in there. I know Austin Creed or Xavier Woods. He's doing stuff with G4. That's awesome. And now that these wrestlers are making names for themselves outside of the wrestling business, like Charlotte Flair's about to be a movie star.
Yeah,
like The Miz. And The Miz has already been doing a bunch of movies for WWE.
Is it a movie or is it a show?
It's a TV. It's a TV film.
Okay.
From what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I might have misread it, but I'm assuming TV film.
Yeah.
And because I don't think of this work as a TV show. They're making a show. But Charlotte Flair being one of those wrestlers to really carry the torch or be one of the torch bearers for doing stuff outside of the medium. Mm-hmm. Obviously, folks have been doing that for years now, but now that they have the Peacock money to do so, and before we cross over to Peacock in a couple days,
it's going to happen.
Like, it's inevitable. But now they got all this money, and not only that, they have a platform like Peacock.
Right.
Millions of people on top of the weekly TV, they're going to be exposed to wrestling. in a couple days. Like Fastlane will be the first pay-per-view on Peacock. Like that's nuts. And then we get WrestleMania a few weeks after. So Peacock can open a lot of doors for people. Obviously, it's already opening doors for Charlotte. I like to see more stuff with The Miz. Honestly, The Miz is no stranger to movies. Let's do that. Let's do that on Peacock. And maybe this will open the door to a third wrestling show on Peacock. Maybe not on the network since their network's dying. Or maybe, Nick, I remember a long time ago, we were pitching movies like essentially like biopics, but with wrestlers.
Yes.
Now do that under Universal and NBC.
I would love that. It's like Young Rock. Young Rock is a biopic.
Yeah, it's an NBC and it's on NBC.
Mm.
So like it makes perfect sense. Like you have Comcast, although Comcast is the worst. Like they have all this money at their disposal. So like utilize that, use your talent. And Charlotte's one of the top dogs on Raw right now, but she's about to go do Walking Tall. Like these folks can do other things and still wrestle on a weekly basis, and I think it's really dope. And I hope this leads to more projects with wrestlers in them, whether it's film, television, anything. A possible third show on Peacock. I would love that so much.
Oh, I hope so too. And like it unlocks so many mediums. I think that we're going to see more wrestlers in like wrestling related products,
or even they don't even have to be wrestling related. They could just be
wrestling.
Like,
sorry, I had a hiccup as I was saying non.
No, you're good. Like
non-wrestling related products. Give me, I think Big E. Give me a Big E sitcom. That's what I want. He would be so entertaining in a sitcom related thing. I just a New Day sitcom. That would be.
I watch the shit out of that. I watch the hell out of it. Like this could be so cool, and I think this would be like the first domino to fall. Or maybe if this isn't the first one, if Young Rock technically was, then this would be one of the sequence of dominoes to fall with more content featuring those wrestlers. Because there's a lot of talent over there that isn't just wrestling. They're obviously they are wrestlers primarily, but they can do other stuff too. And it's Charlotte Flair. I think this can make more wrestlers household names, and it'll benefit WWE more so in the long run. So there's a lot of mutual. There's a lot of synergy going on at Comcast Universal and WWE. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Just like that McDonald's sandwich. Everybody's loving it, right?
Damn right. But Nick, before we end, and what could possibly be the shortest Wrestle Reel ever?
I think it might be. I think that it might be. And I'm very sorry, everybody.
Don't apologize.
I did not realize this time period was when I would be home. But listen, I say this every week. Chris Anthony Lopez, there's nobody that I'd rather do this show with. I'm so grateful that we get to have this opportunity.
Feelings mutual, Bubba.
Wrestling with each other every single week. Don't think that we missed anything this week. I just think that it was kind of a shortened episode. I was thinking, do we talk three segments of three Irish wrestlers this week? Hornswoggle, Sheamus, and my favorite wrestler of all time, Fit Finlay. But unfortunately, that didn't end up happening. Fit Finlay, though, is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Who doesn't love a good Fit Finlay? But that said, thank you all for joining us. If you are here, please hit that like button. Please comment please comment your favorite Irish wrestler, and if it's not Fit Finlay, then I'm gonna hit you in the head with a shillelagh. And I like Sheamus too, Chris. Don't worry. But I thank you all for watching. Chris Anthony Lopez, I know he does too. He's such a grateful man.
No, thank you, Nick Molbach, for doing the show. The feelings mutual, Bubba. Follow us on the social medias below on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of great content coming out very, very soon. And just stay tuned on Wrestle Reel. We're doing something fun for WrestleMania. At least WrestleMania. At the very least. Takeover? Maybe not. WrestleMania? Hell
We'll do
yes.
something for Takeover, but I don't know.
We'll do something. We'll have to figure out the schedule, but the second we figure that out, we'll let you guys know here on Wrestle Reel. So for the Honky Tonk Nick, my name is Chris Anthony Lopez. This has been episode 22 Wrestle Reel. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
And that's the bottom line. 'Cause